Hello, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Swolecast, the Offseason Swolecast. Listen, we have a special treat for you today. It is Davis, it is Peter, it is myself, and it is a guy who he will game theory anything. You can ask him anything. You can ask him, hey, do you want to eat waffles on today's show? And he will say with an enthusiastic yes, I will. And it is now my pleasure to introduce my, I don't know how we say this, my company brother, my BC bro, Matthew Freedman on today's show. Matthew, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'd say more like better collective cousins. I think that's maybe the more accurate, but I'm excited to be here. It's not like I really need an excuse to eat waffles any day.
Sure.
And then really today, like I'll just say right now, I'm probably on hour 21 of intermittent fasting. And then a couple of hours ago, I did an hour of exercise on the elliptical. So like, I'm actually ready to eat these waffles. And I'll he
GTO'd eating waffles on the Swolecast.
So there's the first plate. I have another plate over here. Not to say I'm going to get through 10 waffles, but I just wanted to be prepared.
No, start eating. Less talking, more eating. We didn't bring you on the show to talk. We brought you on to watch you eat.
Fair enough.
Just to set the stage, of course, if you were just somewhere other than Twitter last week, there was a last place bets where a guy had to spend the 24 hours in Waffle House. This is not the first time we've seen something like this, but because of this guy's commentary, it kind of took off and it took a life of its own, Pete.
It did, man. It really captivated the hearts of America. I mean, New York Times came a-calling and wrote a profile piece. And clearly Matt took notice because Matt's down here thinking, how do I get some of this juice, this social media juice? And explain to us why you then did your own thread just trying to tail this phenomena.
Okay, well, so we, as you say, Dave, we've seen this a couple of times.
Yeah.
And each time we see this, these guys just roll into Waffle House in the middle of the day. And it's like, okay, I've got 24 hours here, but easy. I'll just pack away 12, 14, 16 waffles thinking like it's going to be nothing. Like they're totally unprepared to do this. And I'm thinking, okay, if you are going to go through this challenge, by the way, I've got the waffles here. If you are going to go through the challenge, you should do it in an optimal way. So the heart of the tweet thread that I put out there was how to do the 24-hour Waffle House challenge in as optimal of a way as possible.
Yeah.
And, you can look at that if you want, but then at the end of it, I was thinking, you know what, like if I'm going to put this out there, I should have some skin in the game. I should actually be willing to put this theory into practice, but it's not like I'm going to go to Waffle House, sit there for 24 hours and pack away waffles just for the hell of it, as pleasant as that sounds. So I decided to say, hey, if this gets 1,000 retweets, then I'll do it. And of course, it did get 1,000 retweets. So now I'm planning this. Probably in August, I'm going to fly down to Texas because there's no Waffle House. I live in Minnesota. There's no Waffle House within hundreds of miles of
Did you realize this before you wrote the thread?
No, I did not. Not optimal as it turns out. But so I'm flying down to Texas to see my parents. I haven't seen them since before the pandemic. So flying down to Texas to see them. And then I will do this in my hometown Waffle House, like the Waffle House I used to frequent in high school. So I will have some home court advantage. And then the charity I'm doing this for, I'm still like coordinating with them, but it will be a local charity in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And it's one that I was connected with when I was in college. So I actually feel really good about the process of what we're doing. And I think I actually might have the chance of being able to raise a decent chunk of money for the charity while eating waffles. And that excites me.
Okay, so get to eating because we got lots of questions. First of all, These are not Are these Lego My Eggos or are these Lego Waffles?
Generic Eggo.
Okay, so what are they called?
I got them at Target. So they're the Target. The Target
So
brand.
I gotta say,
Target.
those waffles are very easy to eat. The day
Sure.
that this was all going on Twitter, I was like, literally nothing in the world sounds better than some waffles. I drove to the grocery store by my house, bought a thing of Eggo waffles, bought a thing of maple syrup, and the entire giant box of like 18 waffles was gone in under 48 hours. Like they're just very easy to pack
They are.
away.
Guessing you're not in a weight loss bed right now, Davis.
No.
I've been, that's funny. I definitely have put on about 10 pounds back. My exercise has been good, but the reintroduction of carbohydrates to the diet.
I actually put on my checklist for today is like find accountability group or find some way, because I got to get back. I need something else. I need the next. I just can't. It's really hard to just do my health, improve my health situation, for the cliche reasons, for my wife and kids,
That is, yeah. If that, you might have a problem, Dave, if you can't get self-motivated for your wife, your family, your own longevity, your appearance on these shows. I mean, get it together, Dave.
Get it together, Dave.
I'm already, I think I've gained over 5 pounds, but because of everything going on,
only 5. I feel like that's a huge win.
Yeah, but 5 since like the day after, because remember I was like GTOing the weigh-in.
Yeah, you cheated. Yeah.
With water and stuff. Yeah, but I'm still down considerably. Also, for Father's Day, I got a special present from the wife.
Is this safe for the show?
I don't know if it is or not, because
do I need to stop eating?
No.
Did it involve syrup?
Freedman, I think you've seen enough everything. These aren't donuts or anything of that nature. These were jorts. She got me jorts because I had I'd said I wanted some. So she got me some Lucky brand jorts, and those would be coming to a social feed.
How tight are they? That's the real question with shorts.
You know what? They aren't. I think it's because I've been wearing the 7-inch inseam shorts. They're not as short as I would like them to be. I would say that. You can always roll them up, but
I'll speak for kind of your neighborhood and people who socialize with you. I'm sure they're long enough.
Pete, have you joined the 5-inch inseam short gang for the summer?
I didn't know this was a gang. Is there a hashtag I need to be using?
Yeah. It's just a thing, dude. 5-inch inseam shorts are the move.
5-inch.
Go ahead. I'm not a 5-incher. I think I'm probably more in the 7 to 8 inch range. When it's cold,
there is no 8-inch.
But if it's like regular temperature, I'm probably 10 to 11 inches easy.
No, I think like for shorter guys, and I'm not ragging on Davis, but like shorter guys, like 5-inch makes sense, right? But for the medium-sized guys, I think 7-inch is pretty much like the shortest I want to go. Like I don't want to go more. I feel like it's just enough thigh where I want to do this.
It does ultimately come down to your thigh size. Like if
I got
they're
big
just
giant
hugging
thighs.
it, like they don't look good. Like and the problem is in general, like shorts are not flattering. They do not look good on men.
Unless you're hot. Like if you're hot, they look good.
Even
you saw some of my pics.
Shorts aren't flattering on guys, and then on top of it, you're already wrapping them around your tight thighs. It's just not a good look.
Okay, here's what I would say about shorts. The short situation has to be complemented by the ankle situation, and we are like in the weeds right now. But if you have nice,
this is the off-season Swolecast that people didn't know they wanted.
If you have nice ankles, shorts are going to look much better on you than if you do not have nice ankles.
How do these ankles look to you, Dave?
I'm
not going to have my ankles judged on this show.
No lips Pete showing off his ankles.
Yeah, save that for the OnlyFans. Okay.
I just wanted to do a bit, not actually have my ankle judged from Nashville.
No, but like Davis, I will just say it. Like Davis doesn't have like the greatest ankles in the world. Like he has other, obviously other characteristics and traits. But
Dave,
like,
when do you think the last time you saw my ankles was? Like 8 to 9 years ago?
Davis's ankles have matured a lot over the years.
No.
Well, my issue is all of my strength is in my lower body, but because of skateboarding, one of my calves is like 30% large. Like my right calf is about 30% larger than my left calf. Yeah, so there's a little bit of body dysmorphia going on there.
How is it that I'm eating waffles and yet I'm seeming like the most normal person on the show right now?
Freedman, I'm going to actually create a 25 thread tweet on shorts and ankles with only like 3 discernible points. Like I feel like
I'll retweet it, by the way.
Yes, since you're on the show, there's ship chasing, there's clout chasing, and then I would like to refer to what you did as bit chasing, right? Like because of the waffles and everything else, but 1,000 retweets, like Davis would do all sort like illegal things for that type of engagement.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
No, I will get 2 times a year. I'll get a tweet that does that good, and that's good enough for me.
Okay. All right. Davis is above tweet engagement now for whatever reason on today's show.
I think it
1,000
depends on
retweets.
how illegal it is. That would
Also,
depend on what Davis would do.
So that's true, but also 1,000 retweets is different than like 10,000. Like that's a very different thing.
Right.
Oh.
Because as Twitter continues to scale, like I remember like a decade ago, if you got like 20,000 retweets, it was like everyone on the platform had seen your tweet. But now there are tweets that get like 1.5 million faves, and like it might not hit my timeline.
All right, but here's where I agree with Freedman about like the main point I thought that you made, Matt, is that you have to be in the right mindset to be like, this is 24 hours. I got to do like something. Like it's got to be a shift in your mindset, basically. Like that's where you were on things. Like it can't be like I'm going to get punished. It's like I need to have something that this is going to be like a productive use of my time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it, the mindset of it, but then also like the preparation of your body for it. Like these guys are going in thinking they might have to do 12 to 24 hours, but they're going in the middle of the day. Like you want to go in fresh and you want to go in with an empty stomach. You just got to prepare for it.
Freedman, are you like gonna have your parents visit you at the Waffle House to get in like some quality time while you're doing this stunt?
I don't want them to see me like that.
How proud of you are they going to be during this?
You guys want to do dinner tonight? Yeah. I got a reservation.
I think I'm gonna have to go get Waffle House today.
Like I'm dreading explaining this or like trying to explain this to them because my mom.
You haven't explained that the whole reason you're coming to visit them is so you can sit in a Waffle House?
They don't know yet that I'm coming to visit.
God.
Amazing.
My mom is just going to be so glad that I'm coming to visit that I'll just be able to be like, oh, I'm coming to visit. It'll be great. By the way, I might have to take a day off to go sit in Waffle House. No big deal. My mom will try to understand it. My dad, like, he'll just like phase it out. Like he won't pay attention at all when I'm trying to explain it. He'll just sort of ignore it and be like, this is just another of those stupid things.
Well, here's the ultimate question. Did your parents ever catch wind of the hazmat suit thing at the Gambling Olympics?
No.
Zero chance.
I was going to say that they might find Waffles as a welcome addition after what you put them through with that.
Okay, since we're on the topic of parents, I want to know, Peter, like what do Mr. and Mrs. Overzet think about the man's bit? Like what did they think? Are they glad that you have matured maybe? Like what's this conversation?
So it's funny you say this because I was talking to them the other day over the weekend for Father's Day, and I guess my aunt was in town and it was my birthday last Tuesday, and they're like, and my dad gets my YouTube notifications and he's like, oh, and so we wanted to see like what you were up to on your birthday. So they log into Club Top Shot. I'm just like completely hammered at the end of it. I'm like doing some like old Trump character while we're opening packs. And I just realized that was my parents' introduction to what I'm up to these days. So yeah, I don't think it's going great.
That's horrible. I thought about showing up with the Waffles and the hazmat suit today, but I decided I wanted to keep it clean and just go with Waffles.
Of course. So. How many Waffles are you on right now?
I'm finishing my 4th.
Oh,
I gotta say, if the deal of having me on the show is I have to continue to eat waffles throughout the entirety of it, I might need to slow down a little bit. Or you guys are
but
just
waffles are just so goddamn good. You're just eating them and you're like, God, every bite of this is so good.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is? So in the same way that the guy who did the stunt, he could shave off an hour for every waffle, you get 5 more minutes of airtime for every waffle you eat. And so once that expires, like Devin's giving you the boot.
Speaking of airtime, can we talk about Jack Miller and the video that he submitted?
What was he going for? What was he going? It was the dumbest, stupidest thing I've ever. I wanted to be like, Jack, this is a good chance for you to rebound. It was so dumb and stupid. He literally didn't even get one pity fave. Like
he got one favorite. Like an hour later, he said, "I can't believe I did this for one like." And then that in and of itself got more likes than the actual video that he sent us.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. It's an audition tape. We literally want to see your face and how you talk and perform. And you send us some screenshot thing that you recorded in QuickTime. I mean, get out of here with this shit, Jack.
A huge part of the entertainment business is confidence, and that was a very low T move. That was extremely low T from Jack. I think at this point we probably have to retire him from consideration as
no,
a
he's going to come
member.
on the show at some point. Someone also mentioned Blender. Blender needs to come on a Swolecast during the football season.
What is Blender gonna do? What is Blender gonna bring to the show?
I think it's when a couple of us have a sore throat and have lost our voices and can't speak. You just bring Blender on to talk.
Like, imagine the energy level of the Swolecast, and then imagine replacing like a Tuttle with a Blender, and just how off the rails that show would be.
Or maybe it's a drunk Tuttle with Blender combo.
It could be. Peter, how are the best ball streets right now?
Dude, they're good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm on trajectory to max Best Ball Mania. I haven't done any others at other sites. I've done a couple on FFPC. I haven't done any DraftKings, not necessarily because I'm a company man, which I am, but I just find their
promo code Pete
interface just horrendous. Has the drafting experience on DraftKings gotten any better with the notifications and all that shit?
You just got to leave it. You just got to leave it open. You just got to be, as I'll always say, you got to habit stack the best ball draft with something else positive for your life. You need to be doing something. You got to be exercising.
So the answer is no, it hasn't gotten better.
No, but the drafts are so soft that I feel like anyone not drafting on DK is really missing out. They are significantly softer.
I think they'll get softer as time goes on too. Based on last year and if they give away tickets, that sort of thing. But I agree. I couldn't even draft on my phone on DraftKings last year. I did a ton of drafts, but they all had to be on the computer, and that's where
you can't. On
that's
DraftKings,
where Underdog.
Oh, I was going to say on DraftKings, you can't do it on your computer.
I heard someone say that you could register on your phone and then do it on your desktop once you've registered.
Yes, that is completely true. Yes.
Yeah.
You can do drafts on your computer. And it is a much better experience because of all the stuff that you guys mentioned. But I mean, best ball is so mainstream now. Like, just think like 3 or 4 years ago when it was just like when draft was something new and people were trying to figure out what, like, content creators were just like preparing for like July, like draft season. And now we have so much. We've got the obviously the Scott Fish Bowl coming up is this huge thing, but there's just nonstop fantasy stuff. And for content creators, it's great. People can quit their jobs now and literally focus solely on
best ball. Shout out to Bime4. He's been ratcheting up his best ball content. He was on the Take Cast the other day, and his stuff is super sharp. He has the Spiked Week. Is that the name of it? Spiked Week?
Spike Week.
Spike Week. You guys need to get like a Spike Seltzer sponsorship for that, by the way. And really good information. I feel like he's one of the few people that's continually kind of focusing on how top heavy this tournament is, how big it is, how hard it is to get first place, and tailoring his strategies completely to that end goal. So shout out to Eric for all of his good stuff.
Do you guys feel like the best ball top heavy, these big tournaments have ruined like the original best ball formats where you're just trying to
the original best ball format sucked. I know Freedman's with me. Freedman remembers getting the MFL emails and just grinding $10 leagues to death, and that was all you could do. There was no money up top. You were competing against Matt Riddle and like the same
Matt Riddle. I haven't heard that name in a while.
I know I haven't heard that name in a million years, but when I think of that old clunky ass website, I think of that dude because he really grinded those OG $10 leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can still have the league focused experience in best ball if you want, but now you also have that GPP type of access to a big payoff. And so I think the dichotomy of tournament versus sort of like more of a cash game feel with the league, like I like that you can do both. But I do agree it has sort of shifted the way that people think or like contextualize of best ball. And like before it was just like, oh, this guy's great in a best ball, like looking for volatility. And now it's like, I want to stack this team in best ball. So it's changed the way that people think about it, but I still like it. And I think the changes have massively been for the better.
And it's like, because we still don't have like really good tools for automating, setting up your parameters, how you want to draft, there is a time opportunity cost to doing these drafts, even though they're fun. And so if you could only win $100 and you're cranking out hour draft after hour draft, like your hourly rate is just absurd. At least with this, I can convince myself I have a shot at $1,001,001 and it doesn't seem like as big of a time suck.
Yeah, but because the top heavy prize, would you rather invest like $1,000 into best ball tournaments, right? Like what's going to be worth more in January? $1,000 of
Dave, it depends on your goals, bro.
Your best ball entries, or like $1,000 worth of Top Shot moments right now if you bought them.
But at this point, it seems like best ball might be the way to go.
Seems like a 1% ROI in best ball is pretty freaking appealing.
I will say too, like in the same way, going back now, swinging in the other direction, like the entertainment equity you get out of the drafts is massive. Yeah. Like the steady dopamine drip I get from my slow draft notifications, it's so good. It just hits different, Dave.
I love the gamification.
It just hits different.
I love how people are galaxy braining stuff. The one, I guess, I'm interested to see how this evolves from here. And I think I know.
Are you going to say Superflex best ball?
Superflex best ball, tight end premium.
All right. Since you mentioned tight end premium, I do want to talk about tight ends because today is the start of tight end U.
Ferkser is somehow going to enter the conversation here.
Have you guys seen like tight end U, like what this thing in Nashville that they're doing?
I saw something about Tebow didn't get invited or something. Was that it?
Yeah.
I was really
Tebow didn't get invited because basically there were so many. This thing took a life of its own. So Kittle lives here in Nashville and wanted to get just some tight ends together.
Does?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know, bro. You live in Waltham.
Please don't dox me, bro. I say general Boston
Please
area.
do not. Please do not dox. Please do not dox the guy.
You doxed yourself. You doxed yourself already by with the hacks thing a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I did. Yeah. But it's different when I'm doing it. It's my address, my choice. Dave.
Okay. Got it. I'm sorry. Redact it. Devin, can you go back and redact that? Of all the things that we've said on this Swolecast, let's make the one thing we bleep out is that. So anyways, Yeah, so basically all the tight ends, and then more people just want to get involved, and so now you've got like I forget how many they said, but there's a lot of tight ends, and basically what they said is the reason why Tebow didn't get invited is because you've got people that have been tight ends their whole life basically, and it would be unfair for Tebow, who just kind of shifted to this position, for him to take the tight end spot of someone who's been grinding for a while, like a Ferkser.
Well, if that logic is true, then I hope no former basketball players that were converted to tight end are at this camp either, because they didn't devote their entire life.
Or Jordan Matthews. Did you see Jordan Matthews?
Is he really at this camp?
No,
Freedman,
I don't think he's at the camp.
Freedman, I know that Freedman is on top of this with me.
Yeah, I mean, he's converting. And the thing is, given that he went to Vanderbilt, like I'm imagining like there's a decent chance that he actually is at this camp just through proximity. But,
so he lives in Louisville because his wife is they said she's a soccer player, like for whatever the Louisville women's soccer team there is, the professional. So he hooked up with the Louisville wide receivers coach or tight ends coach and has put on 30 something pounds. Do you think this is
waffles? That's all
like,
it is
for a guy like Jordan Matthews, who's known for his hands. And he basically said, like, seeing these guys out there that these like new rookies, like he knows that he cannot compete with these guys running like 4.3s and just dominating down the sideline. And so he's always been kind of a slot guy. And so he figures, why not just put on some pounds and be a tight end?
Why not just eat 24 hours worth of Waffle House every week and just gain 20 pounds and just get after it?
Do you think it can be done?
Sure.
It can be, but not by him. He's too old. He's too old for the transition. I mean, how
old is he now?
He's got to be like 28, 29, and that even
that is not too old to make the transition.
No, that even feels. I think I'm even undershooting there. I think he's probably closer to 30, but 28 or 29 at the youngest.
I would say 29 for sure.
I can't I'm eating waffles here.
What number of waffles are you on, Matt?
I'm about halfway through number 8.
Oh gosh.
So what is there quotes from him? Is he basically saying like, I want to be inline tight end, I want to be blocking, I want to be in the trenches? Is that what
he said? He already knows blocking techniques from being a wide receiver in the NFL and a blocker. And so now he's learning, like he's basically putting on weight and whatever other tight end stuff they're doing.
There's no way he can hang in line. I mean, maybe a little bit, but that would just be sort of like the token.
Why are you disparaging this guy who did nothing but love us? And like, what is the point, dude?
I'm just saying he can't hold up in line. That's all I'm saying.
J-Matt was like the original guy. Like J-Matt was like the original RotoViz guy.
Yeah, we loved him. He didn't love us.
He did. It wasn't his fault. He got hurt. He got like super injured early on in his career. He had like a successive chain of lower body injuries that sapped him of all of his explosiveness.
Look, I still like Jordan Matthews as much as almost anyone on the planet, which is a sad thing to say. But I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't think he can put on 30 pounds and then all of a sudden be an inline tight end. Like I think he could be an above average or average like move tight end, but I don't think he can like have the 3 down.
Sure. We don't need him to be Nick Boyle.
Well, hang on. That's all. But someone asked, could he be in line?
I'm confused. If you love him more than anyone in the world, but you don't think this is going to work out for him, in what ways are you?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't really love him that much.
Tough love, like realism. Come on, guys. If you have a kid who like wants to do something that the kid just can't do, you got to tell him that. You know.
Is that true, Dave? Do you just tell your kids to fuck off if they can't do something?
First of all, watch your language when you're talking about my kids.
You just doxed your potty mouth, David.
Second of all, sorry, Devin, you are legit gonna have to go back.
Give my address while you're at it.
So as far as the kids, like you have to set like expectations, and that's like a totally different convo that we can have. But like especially me, like I'm the father of 3 girls. So like there's always going to be stuff that they can't do that guys can't. Like they're never going to like dunk a basketball, but that's okay. Like they can still have fun playing basketball. They can still learn lessons playing basketball.
Yeah, whoa. I don't know if I'd go that far.
You're literally capping their ceiling. Why can't one of your girls dunk a basketball?
I'm saying they will not be able to dunk a basketball.
Some girl dad David Kitchen is.
Yeah,
but no, I support them. We go out there, we have fun, but like there are limitations, but there are also things that they'll be able to do that guys can't do. And so like there are,
like what, Dave? Like what?
What's that?
Like what? Like give us some examples.
Have a baby. That's one of the things that
so you're saying genetically this argument is not carrying very much weight with me. This is
there are limits. There are limits to what you can do, but you can still within the confines of like what you do. Like they might not be able to be they might not be able to be as good as a boy or play football, whatever, in that particular sport, but that doesn't reflect on who they are. That doesn't reflect on self-worth. And I try to motivate them and
not like this. You aren't.
Hey, Dave, I think you need to start eating waffles and let me.
I think I'm eating something else. I think I'm eating something else right now. But you understand what I'm saying.
Devin, clip that and let's play it at Kitchen's girls' graduation someday.
Yeah, I think that's some really good motivational stuff for Kitchen's kids to see when they about high school age.
I mean, I don't understand. Like this isn't a hot take unless people like make it a hot take.
I love how Davis is like, what's something they can do? They can have kids. That's great.
That was basically like I was hoping.
Sandwich.
Yeah, I was hoping you had literally anything other than like something genetic. Like I thought maybe you'd go for like, oh, girls are generally speaking like more emotionally intelligent, so they're able to build stronger friendships or something. But you just went straight for have a baby.
Well, I was gonna say like motherly instincts, that sort of thing. But
Tuttle, we need Tuttle for this conversation.
Tuttle would for sure take this conversation.
Tuttle only has boys, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of them will ever be able to dunk a basketball.
Probably not.
If the hottest take I say this year is that my daughters will never dunk a basketball in a 10-foot goal, then I'm doing good. I love my girls, by the way. Had a great Father's Day.
Oh, I bet you did, bud.
I got jorts, and we played. We had fun. They made me big breakfast. All right. So tight ends.
I mean, I cannot possibly even come up with one reason to care about tight end you or whatever this is. Like it.
No, I want to transition from tight end. I want to transition from tight end you to the tight ends and best ball because I've seen different theories floating out there. I've seen Leone say that he really like last year. I think I was listening to one of the ETR pods when he was saying like last year he was just saying, why would I waste a first or second rounder on Kelsey when I can get Kittle later, or I can get Andrews later? And obviously in hindsight, that didn't work out for them. But like, where are you with tight ends in your best ball drafts, Peter?
I'm mainly going for 2 tight end builds. I only have a very finite amount of teams where I end up with 3. I'm really trying to prioritize just to save that extra roster spot. And I like.
So does that mean that you're getting a tight end early or that you're getting like the high upside tight ends later?
Yeah, I'm either going, Kittle, Kelsey, Waller paired with like a late guy like an Everett, a Mo Alley Cox or whatever, or I'm grabbing 2 in the like rounds 8 to 11. Like I get a Noah Fant and Gesicki. I get a Logan Thomas and Goddard, like those kind of combos.
Are we still doing Mo Alley Cox?
I love Mo Alley Cox.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm more of a Kylan grandson guy myself, but like I get it.
Are we still riding the Kyle Granson like one press conference clip?
Yeah,
that's driving.
You saw how giddy Frank Reich was talking about him, bro. You can't fake that level of giddiness at a press conference.
Freedman, what tight ends do you like?
I'm with you on the 2 tight end builds. I do prefer those to the 3. Like whenever I feel that I have to go with 3, even when like I add that third guy, I still think the tight end unit sucks. And it's like, God, maybe I need to add a fourth, you know, like no matter however many guys I add at this point, it's not going to make this unit palatable. And at that point, you're just praying. So I'm with Pete. I am definitely going with the 2 tight end builds. And it would be nice to anchor with someone like Kelsey if you can sort of stomach the price you have to pay to get him. If not, at this point, I wasn't always here, but I prefer Waller to Kittle at this point. And I also really like Andrews. Like if I don't get one of those Andrews 4 guys
every draft.
If I don't get one of those 4 guys, then I'm fine waiting a little bit longer and kind of doing what Pete has talked about, getting 2 guys that you have kind of in rounds 8 to 12. Like that, I think is a pretty decent range to get some guys that you like.
Because you're just trying to ultimately bink the one breakout in that range or hope that a guy like Logan Thomas holds on.
Yeah.
Pretty out on Logan Thomas. Feels like he is the Gary Barnage candidate of the season.
I think that's great.
Last year,
he just got force-fed volume in an offense that didn't have a lot of different ways to go, but they add Curtis Samuel, McLaurin, another year of evolution. I don't know. And also it feels like Gibson probably sucks in like 65, 70 targets this year.
Well, and the thing is I mean, Fitzpatrick, the 2 things he hates doing, checking down to his pass catching running back. Sorry, McKissick, checking down to his tight end. Sorry, Paul. Like he's going to be pushing down field to McLaurin and Diami Brown. I mean, that's what's happening here.
But like last year, there was smoke around Logan Thomas as far as his potential late round guy. Like there were 2 guys in most of my drafts that I was getting a piece of. One was Logan Thomas. The other one was, I think, Dalton Keene, the rookie tight end for the Patriots.
I'm aware of Dalton Keene. That one didn't sit well.
CJ Uzomah should have been such a freaking layup last year. He would have had like 110 targets and 6 touchdowns, but he tore his ACL like on his first target of the year.
Tyler Eifert was another guy, speaking of CJ, that targeted later in drafts last year. But a lot of like, if you're going to draft a third tight end, I feel like some of that has to do with stacking. Like if it fits your team, then you can draft a third tight end.
Here's the thing. Tight ends score far and away the fewest amount of points, and they see far and away the fewest amount of interactions. Like the tight end 12 in fantasy is going to be like the wide receiver 43 in terms of fantasy points per game. So drafting that third tight end just to get, his random 13-point spike week, it's not worth it because you are sacrificing so many more like Cornell Powell is going to have more spike weeks than pick your favorite third tight end.
I agree with that. By the way, this is waffle number 10. This is the last one.
Amazing, dude. You are
these are mini waffles, Davis. Like it's okay, but the guy didn't eat in almost 24 hours, and 10 Lego my Eggos are nice, but
no, these
you're not going to get a Waffle House 5 hours early for that.
All right, look, if we're going to talk about disgusting tight ends, don't we have to talk about Chris Herndon?
Ugh.
Like he's the last guy. I am fine taking in a 2 tight end build. And even that feels like I'm being very dangerous, but I'm still a little bit enthusiastic about him this year.
What about Dalton Schultz, Freedman?
No.
The rumors are that Dak likes him more than Jarwin.
I feel like just cost adjusted where they're going. I mean, Schultz is literally free 18th round. Like Jarwin's going in a premium range. Like you have to pay for Jarwin. I'm willing to bet on the cheaper guy there.
Not on DK. Jarwin is like 16th round on DK. He might be a little bit more expensive on Underdog.
Yeah, I don't want Jarwin, but that doesn't mean that I want Schultz either.
Like that is just ridiculous.
Are you a fantasy analyst or a politician?
What's the possible logic there?
Like Jarwin is too expensive, and Schultz, I just don't have any faith that he's going to be the guy where I would rather take him over another tight end or another wide receiver in that range where he's going. So
Dallas also already has like a bunch of weapons, and then you're trying to get the backup tight end for that, Davis. Like, do you think there's a double-digit spike week for the backup tight end for the Cowboys?
Well, he might not be the backup. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there is like Schultz is never, obviously he's always your second tight end. And I'm saying there is some chance that Dalton Schultz just plays ahead of Jarwin to begin with.
Yeah. What other backup tight ends are you looking at, Davis?
Yeah, it's mostly just Schultz as the backup tight end. Does Tyler Conklin count? Zimmer is talking up Tyler Conklin.
What about Zach Ertz? Does he count? Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst might be a backup tight end if you sort of think about it.
I do need to draft some Ertz because it just feels inevitable that he's going to sign with Buffalo and his ADP is going to jump like 6 rounds.
That's so true. Yeah.
They mentioned Tennessee as a potential spot for him as well.
What about the Ferk Daddy?
What? Yeah, we're going to replace the Ferk Daddy, dude? No way.
I mean, listen, Titans I miss Jonnu. I really do. But they'll be fine with Ferks.
Here's one for you. How are you guys handling the Chargers situation? It's so hard to get excited about.
Have yet to stack them once.
The Chargers in general or the tight ends?
I have not. I have taken Parham with 20th round picks on DK, 18th round on Underdog. 0% interest in Jared Cook. Won't have him on one team out of 500 this offseason. And all the Chargers I can't do other than Eckler. I can't.
Yeah, I haven't been buying into the Parham stuff. And then I'm like, well, if I'm not buying into that, then I need to have a little Jared Cook. And then that always feels gross. What are you doing with it, Freedman?
It feels gross, but like, I kind of don't know what's wrong with Jared Cook. Like, I mean, I think he's going
34.
to have,
I knew that Davis was going to mention his age.
like 34 is not all that old for a tight end.
All right, clip it. Someone clip Matt saying 34 is not all that old next to Jared Cook grabbing his ankle in week 1.
For a tight end, like it's not that old, like
I feel like for any football player, it's kind of old. Like 34.
Who are some studly 34-plus-year-old
All
tight
right,
ends?
I'm gonna run the Pro Football Focus 34-year-old season.
He's drunk on waffles, guys.
Okay. All right, Jason Witten, like he was still palatable when he was 34, right? Like Antonio Gates, like there are a number of
Antonio Gates was coming in for like his third down, like obvious pass catching situations.
I'm just saying, like tight ends, like the guys who are actually good, they can extend their careers to where it's like they're not going to be top 5 tight ends. But if Cook is going, what is his ADP right now?
It's like 160.
That is so low. Like
160,
that is pretty low for a guy who actually has a decent shot of being like, let's say like tight end 10. Like you could see how he gets there pretty easly.
I'm with you. That's my whole thing.
But,
like if he plays
what is the value of a tight end 10? Like we're chasing spike. We're chasing guys who can like break out.
But he's going to be a tight end 10 because he has spike weeks.
So I feel like Davis is going for 0 tight end strategy this year.
No, I literally take Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Mark Andrews, and then if I don't get those guys, I take Fant and Gesicki.
Well, here's a good one then to do. So Cook's going 160, Cole Kmet's going 173. Davis, are you Kmet every time there?
And like literally without thinking. Like obviously Jimmy Graham is going to be carcassing around for the first 2 weeks of the season and probably catches a touchdown or whatever. But Kmet was a 3rd round pick last year, got on the field as a rookie. We know that's predictive. I also saw Adam Harstead tweet this the other day, but like tight ends, if they produce in the first couple games of the season, that tends to be more linear and predictive than at other positions. Like if wide receivers pop off in week 2, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But like I just feel like Kmet is going to break out and do well early and then just stay up. Like I don't know. I'm pretty big on Kmet. I got big positions there.
I think that's incredibly optimistic. I like Kmet in general as a prospect, And so entering his second year, like all the things you said about him, like they're true. He does have the potential for a lot of good things to go his direction. But
Freedman, not a believer in Justin Fields. He agrees with Salfino that his throwing motion is too long.
I don't look at quarterback throwing motion at all. That's not in my wheelhouse. I'm just saying, like, there's a possibility that Fields doesn't start the season. Like,
he's not. Andy Dalton is going to be thrown to the Wolves week 1 for the Rams, and then Fields is going to come in.
So I'm just saying, like, Dalton maybe hangs on longer than we anticipate. Maybe Fields does start the season, but it's a rough transition. Maybe they're running the ball a little bit more to protect the rookie quarterback, and that just means fewer targets overall for the offense, and a lot of targets still going to Robinson, targets still going to Jimmy Graham for some unknown reason, and the second-year leap we expect to see out of Kmet just doesn't materialize. Like, there are a lot of ways in which the whole Cole Kmet thing could go poorly. I think for Jared Cook, I wouldn't say the only way it goes poorly, but the main way it goes poorly is just if he suffers an injury. But if he's healthy, let's say 15, 16 games, like you have a pretty good sense of what he's going to do across that time.
Do you guys want some elite
tight end one?
Do you guys want some elite bar trivia here? How many times has Jared Cook had a 1,000-yard season?
Never.
I would guess 0.
Never had, and only one season with more than 2 seasons with more than 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but how many touchdowns did he have last year?
7 on 60 targets.
So, and what did he finish last year? I feel like what he did last year is probably
tight end 12.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably his median outcome this year, with a little bit more meat on the bone if he falls into the end zone a couple more times.
And what about how many games did he miss last year? 2?
Listen.
Well, I know he missed.
Can we move on from the Jared Cook
because of the Adam Troutman week?
You wanted to talk tight ends, Kitchen.
No, I didn't think we'd spend 15 minutes on Jared Cook. I was thinking more like the sexier tight ends.
Okay, give us a sexy name, Kitchen.
Okay, you talked about Gerald.
Jeff Swaim season.
Gerald, you talked about Gerald Everett, but also Jacob Harris. Any smoke to that fire?
Yeah, Sean wrote about him. Sean Siegel today in Rotoviz.
Get him in all your dynasty leagues.
I hadn't heard anyone talk about him. I don't think he was talking about him in a redraft context.
Yeah.
What, Davis?
Oh, Davis wants some credibility right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting you back because I just
on my name.
I just was listening to your interview with Alex Goldstein, the Bitcoin guy, and you tried to take credit for my fantasy idea that we had.
I absolutely did not. I said we.
No, you didn't.
Said we. I absolutely said we.
Roll back the tape.
No, check the tape, Devin.
I will bet you any amount of money you want because I almost fired a tweet off right away.
If I didn't,
I waited an hour to
if I didn't, that is a legitimate apology because it was your idea.
Davis, I don't know if Jacob Harris is fits with your brand because he is.
Because he's actually good. Isn't that
not
the problem?
No. Do you know how old he is?
He's like 26. Yeah, he's super old. He was like a
24
prospect. But he transitioned. He's doing the reverse. He's transitioning from wide receiver to tight end. He's basically
Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, his measurables are beastly for sure.
True story. Jacob Harris was not even in the MFL database when rookie draft started. So in the rookie drafts I was in, I had to draft someone else, and in the player comments, I had to write in Jacob Harris so that the commissioners could go back in and change it afterward.
So is there any path to this guy having relevance in year 1, or is this just a dynasty play?
No, completely, because there is not a third. Like Deshaun Jackson is 35 in before Matt says 35 not that old for a speed wide receiver.
A lot of times wide receivers are just getting started at 35.
Van Jefferson, terrible. Tutu Atwell literally weighs less than me. Like if we're gonna be honest about where we're at in our physical lives.
Much, you know what I'm saying?
Ankles, Tutu has.
And then you're talking about guys like Nishimba Webster or Bryson Hopkins. Like it literally, he could just be on the field like week 4.
Bryson Hopkins is not bad. All right. How many athletes do you know with like not good ankles? Like there are 0 athletes with not good ankles, by the way. That should be a thing you look at.
I mean, athlete, that's actually not true. Athlete ankles are going to be super beat up all the time because that's a spot that gets injured. Very easily.
It's not about like if you twist them or not. It's about the shape of them.
Well, they get gnarled. Like my ankles have scabs and bruises all over them 100% of the time.
Davis, can we see your ankle real quick?
No, I'm not putting my.
What do you think?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is happening here? You think I'm Peter Overzet and I'm going to hop out of a trash can for you?
Freedman, you do have to be careful with those waffles because I heard they go straight to your ankles.
After this, I'm just going to go exercise. I'm not even going to really move any other parts of my body, just my ankles.
Yeah.
Just the ankles. Dude, get some ankle weights, bro. Perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ankle and calves, like those are, anyways.
I think Freedman only has a couple more minutes unless he finds another waffle that he gets to
I want to say this. Compared to many of the fill-in hosts we've had on this show, Freedman saw at least a B+, maybe an A- job compared to like Sammy Reed, the absent Jack Miller. And Leone is too chaotic as a fill-in.
Gretch is great, but he takes up 15 minutes at a time.
He's too much of a nerd.
Karain revealed himself as a fraud analyst. Didn't know that.
Yeah, he didn't even know about the defensive line prospects for the second round. It was a tough scene.
I think Davis, you just like Freedman on the show so much because he was eating the whole time and it gave you more time to talk.
Yeah.
That's what I literally just said. He lets the show breathe.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Tuttle, except instead of Tuttle doing his lineups, he's eating his waffles, basically.
Well, and he actually contributes when the conversation turns to him. Like Tuttle's just like, what? What are you guys talking about?
Well, I mean, guys,
Tuttle's contribution would have been on the my daughters and sons conversation.
He would have roasted you with us for sure.
Yeah. Well, he
would have said something even more
on the show.
What'd you say,
Tuttle would have
Matt?
taken my comments and gone even further, I'm sure. So
I think that's accurate. I can eat waffles on the show anytime you guys want, even if there's no bet riding on it later. So
maybe we'll just create a little waffle box for you down in the corner. There's no audio, and we just kind of watch you eat.
The waffle cam,
the waffle cam. I love it.
I mean, I'm probably going to develop something like that for this Waffle House challenge.
wait, you're going to live stream?
Imagine not live streaming this on the Action Network Twitch, like the Bales push-up challenge.
I think there's a pretty good.
You need a syrup girl.
Live stream. Yeah.
The tennis bet with Levy and Levy. I was surprised that there were 2 angles for, even if one of the angles was really the quality was really terrible. At least there was 2 discernible angles. We just have to get better play-by-play next time.
And we all learned that Levy and Levy, not only do their names sound alike, they also kind of look alike from a distance in the camera.
Not if you're looking at their ankles.
Obviously I'm follically challenged as well. But I could always tell Levy versus Levy because there's a little bit of a bald spot in the back.
There you go. The grainy footage was the great equalizer for me.
Yeah. This isn't 2010 profile pick Adam Levitan we're talking about here.
It is a great profile pick.
I mean, it's like this. The commitment to the bit of never changing that is so good. Like that's
right.
it's like his Penn Live picture from 2008.
Freedman, what do you have going on there with Action Network? Action Network recently, they're just crushing it. I feel like they have just come onto the scene where we can acknowledge them now.
They're just coming onto the scene. That famously new to the game, the Action Network.
Actually, Davis, do you want to teach Freedman how to submit his Better Collective time card?
Yeah. So what you do is you just wait until you remember. And then
you wait until they do their quarterly statements.
Freedman, did you hear that the Better Collective Action Network thing almost never happened because of some inconsistencies in their payroll paperwork with Davis?
I did not hear that. It's
Yeah,
great
Davis
to know,
almost-
though.
Davis legit did not turn in a timesheet for like a whole quarter. Like, I mean, over
Probably
a whole quarter.
To be honest, longer than that, like 8 to 9 months of
That
not
is-
turning it in.
How? Were you
I don't,
even-
because I don't work here, Matt. This is like my fourth side gig.
To be fair, Davis shouldn't even be paid for this. So
I shouldn't even be paid for this.
there you go. All right. Someone that is being paid for this, Devin, man, boy, does he wish he had.
Someone who's not being paid enough for this.
Yeah,
Devin.
exactly. I can only imagine like during this show, like the things that Devin has to like,
He just works on his baseball lineups, dude.
I think that he questions his like life goals during the show. Like, what am I doing with myself? Like during,
What about the new producer that's getting trained on this show?
Well, the stakes
he's probably
could
already
possibly
left.
be lower.
he's probably already left. Let's just admit. All right.
Pete,
Freedman.
I wanted to bring something up to Pete before we got out of here.
Okay.
How does he feel about the fact that his last name is misspelled in his wife's Instagram handle?
What? Oh, can we not dox my wife's Instagram handle today? We already did my address. All right. We could have this conversation offline. Goodness. She's already having to reject these invites from all these fantasy creeps out there. I say, do not let anyone through unless we
Literally
run a
block
full background check.
everyone.
There are some people in my Facebook friend request list that I have not accepted them either from like the fantasy stuff, just because it's like Facebook is a different ball game than Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want people going on there and being like, look at those short daughters that are never going to dunk someday.
Literally my oldest is faster than all the boys in her class. So that's why I didn't say like, you're never going to be running as fast as them, because I do tell her like, you are the fastest kid in your class. You should dominate.
Great
All
that
right.
we're still talking about this, though.
Well, that's what we do on the show. We take a bit and then we want to run it into the ground until there's no life left in it. So Freedman, thank you for joining the Swolecast. I feel like this is a big step up for the show in our quest to get Darren Rovell as a regular guest on the show. opposite
Never
Davis.
happening.
Why
Yes,
not?
it is, Davis.
It'd be good for the
Cannot
show.
possibly
Davis.
have Ravel on this show.
Oh man, we could.
Well, we can't have Ravel on the show because he said yesterday, you can't, people who are into crypto and people who are not into crypto, they can't even have dinner together because they don't agree on anything.
Yeah,
We
Well,
get
Davis-
along with Tuttle, and he's the biggest Top Shot bear we know.
Yeah,
But Tuttle, I don't believe Tuttle is a no coiner.
yeah. I think he is. He's a no coiner. He's a physical. There are like the balance of the show is it goes from like Tuttle being a cardboard guy to me being like pretty much just NFT guy. To NFT.
Put baby in a corner.
Yeah, and then Peter is like a mixture of both, and then Davis is just Bitcoin, like just.
Don't shut the. Oh, get out of here, dude! I'm
That's
so
how
sick of
trigger
you.
Davis more than anything. Call him a Bitcoin maxi.
He is a Bitcoin maxi.
Literally does trigger me so much.
What, Davis? What is the before we leave? What are the big ETH projects that you are on right now?
I mean, I have a yield swap going with Uniswap V3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I guarantee I own more Ethereum than you do.
As of right now, that is absolutely true. But as soon as some of these projects get liquid, watch out. So I want to know, Davis, do you have any NFTs though right now?
I mean, Top Shots are NFTs.
Yeah, other than Top Shot.
No, because I would rather own Ethereum than most NFTs. I mean, I'd rather own a punk or fractionally own a punk than Ethereum, but those are out of reach.
Or a Bored Ape.
I have no interest in said things.
Okay.
Sounds like Kitchen doesn't either. You sold all yours, Kitchen?
Yeah,
No,
what a paper hander.
I still have them, but I did sell on the way up. And boy, does that feel good seeing some of these prices that are going now. Still have the 2021, but this week I'm going to sell the 2021 and then get another one that I've had my eye on.
Yeah, I saw you were doing this private sale through the DMs. Did you find a buyer?
There's been a couple DMs, but we might have to do an auction. 10
So
ETH
not
minimum.
enough DMs, apparently.
No, there's not. Well, I only like there. Anyways, we might have to have an auction with a 10 ETH minimum just to own. Just to own Davis, basically.
Well, if you're looking for someone who knows how to do a good NFT auction, Mans is available for the right price.
Oh yeah, we should just set it up where we auction off the price of one of my Mans coins, and then with the purchase of that Mans coin, you get Bored Ape 2021 and Bored Ape Kennel Club 2021.
Yeah, if you're trying to move a project, I think associating Mans coin with it is the way to go.
I mean, one of the true NFTs, just really dedicated to the Ethereum protocol.
Yeah.
Really like it.
All
Kitchen,
right.
what are your thoughts on EIP 1559?
Oh man, tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day as far as like the London, and then we got next week. There's a couple more coming on board, and then I think it's gonna take off. I've seen a little bit of inconsistencies about as far as, is this going to really save on gas, that sort of thing with 1559.
I gotta ask Freedman. Freedman, are you still a no coiner?
No, I was never a no coiner. I was just sort of like a naive moron, more or less. But like,
well, that's Davis.
Hey, buddy, been there.
So I have a rather small Bitcoin and Ethereum position.
So glad you said the last part of that.
Devin, please name this episode EIP 1559 and Jared Cook. I think that would be great for
I think
clickbait.
Clickbait on that.
I agree. Pretty ideal.
All right, ETH to the moon. The flippening happening sooner than later. Davis,
the flippening, sure, yeah. The charts
Davis,
are looking
wrecked.
good for the flippening.
Get wrecked. Get wrecked. All right, Peter has to go do one of his other shows, I'm sure. Guys, thanks for being on the show with us. Thanks for everyone that is still tuned in. Shout out to Devin for producing the show, and to the new producer, Devin. Just go ahead and Steve. Yes, new producer Steve. Just go have him edit the show, edit all the comments that were doxed. We'll see you guys next time here on the Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com.